Hello friends, happy Sunday, let's chat.
Have some faith with it, you can call the shots. And every Sunday, you can have a coffee talk. Live with no limits, love is all we got. And every Sunday, you should have a coffee talk. Have some faith with it, you can call the shots. And every Sunday, you can have a coffee talk. Live with no limits.
Have something.
That's what I usually do when I watch.
You just bop like this.
Today's guest is a little extra special to me because they grew up being my best friend and we've become so much more close over the past 4 or 5 years. And a lot of the strength that I've learned came directly from watching her. And today we have my older sister, Shannon! What's that? I have no idea.
What are you laughing at? I'll wait.
Can I tell you laughing's a nerve thing too?
No. Okay. Do you want to introduce yourself a little bit? You laughing is making me laugh. Stop it.
Hi, I'm Sam's older sister, Shannon. I'm 6 years older than her.
This is a fact.
This is going to be a fun one to edit.
Thanks. And you brought your own mug.
I did. It says, my kids have paws because they do.
Yeah, you run a zoo.
I do. I have 3 cats and a pit bull who thinks he's my child.
That's true. He's the cutest. And then mine, you actually got for me.
Yep, when you started.
Yeah, it says coffee, cats, and late night chats, even though my chats are in the AM, but kind of fits my MO perfectly. Considering I have cats come into every episode. So this episode is a little bit different because usually I have it so my guest's topic is a complete surprise to me and I don't find out until we are filming. But this one we decided on beforehand because it's a cause that is near and dear to my heart, and it's because it is what you have to put up with, or not put up with, but what you've had to endure your entire life. Starting in just a couple of days is May, which is Neurofibromatosis Awareness Month. And
specifically, the 17th is National Neurofibromatosis. Can't even say neurofibromatosis. May 17th is National Neurofibromatosis Awareness Day. So not only do they take a whole month, we also want our own day.
You selfish bitch. I'm kidding. But I'm specifically putting this up the weekend before May starts because we have a team for the neurofibromatosis walk that's going around. We're going to the Boston one because we live in Massachusetts. And we want to try to raise money for our team, and then if any of my friends are watching, if you'd like to join us, that way you have some heads
or even
up.
Fans, we're welcome to you guys joining too.
Yeah, true. But I have 77
followers, fans,
they're all
coffee drinkers.
Coffee.
My friends watch too.
Oh yeah.
All 2 of them.
Thank you
Hi,
for
guys.
the support. Hi. Instead of asking what inspires you, we're just going to talk about your experiences through that. Correct? Yes. Do you want to run through what neurofibromatosis is real quick?
I do. Neurofibromatosis is a neurological genetic disorder that only affects 1 in every 3,000 people. It can cause tumors to grow in your nerve endings, bone deformities, blindness, deafness. It can cause severe learning disorders, and it could even cause cancer if the tumors do become cancerous.
What? There's 2 types.
There's 3.
Oh, there's 3. Oh, right, yeah.
There's neurofibromatosis type 1, there's neurofibromatosis type 2, and there's also schwannosis.
Yeah, I forgot about that one. And which one do you have?
I have neurofibromatosis type 1, which, although NF really, it's terrible, I got lucky.
Yeah.
Because as they progress, they get worse.
For type 2?
Type 2 is worse than type 1.
Yeah.
And schwannosis is worse than 1 and 2.
Yeah. Didn't they talk about it on, what's that show? Oh my god. The dumb, teen drama one.
Scream Queens. They
Yeah.
actually made fun of somebody
Yeah.
who had it. And they said that he was a freak and a monster.
Yeah.
And they did an episode of True Life. But I was supposed to be on that episode, but I didn't want to have surgery, so they dropped me.
Yeah.
I was like the top 5, and
Yeah.
they chose 3.
Yeah, I remember the Scream Queens one. I got so fucking mad.
I actually tweeted the actors, I tweeted the station, I tweeted the show
It
themselves,
was just so disrespectful.
and I got nothing back.
Right.
And I was
like,
so sad because John Stamos is on that show,
yeah.
and I love me some Uncle Jesse. And it broke my heart that was a show that he was a part of. And it's not even the only thing that they've made fun of since.
That's true. But like, especially with something that's so lesser known.
When it finally gets, you know, media and it's something negative, it's terrible.
Yeah, because they didn't even explain like what it had to do with it. He just had like the tumors. And they didn't talk about like how serious the actual condition can be. They were just
terrible.
like, oh, he's ugly, look at him, like he was like hot and now he's a monster. And I was just like, how much more of a trash human being can you be to write that?
Right.
But I mean, that I could be biased. I'm sure like this happens all the time with lesser known diseases and like disorders. But do you want to talk about your initial experiences with it, like how you had to get your leg amputated and whatnot?
Well, when I was born, my leg was in the shape of, I guess you would say, a C.
Yeah, I always call it.
My right leg curved over my left leg, and the doctors, they tried to break it to straighten it out, and it never fully healed. So as I grew, if I grew too much, it would break. If I stepped down on it wrong, it would break. There was actually one time where my dad, our dad tells the story all the time about I was brushing my teeth and I wasn't wearing my brace. I had to wear a brace to basically hold my leg together. And I was swinging my foot and I caught it on our cast iron tub and I broke it. And I didn't know for about a few days, and I was sitting in the bathtub, and I said, Daddy, come here, you gotta see this, it's so funny. And I wiggled my leg, and like the middle of my leg went like this, as the whole rest of my leg stayed still.
Ugh. I like kind of remember the story, but I don't at the same time.
Yeah.
So like it's like hearing it for the first time, and I was like, nope, I don't like that.
And there was another time where my older cousin told me that if I jumped from the couch to the couch to the couch at our grandmother's house, that I would fly like Peter Pan. Yeah, you're a bully. And I made it from the chair to the couch to the love seat, and coming back, I went to jump from the couch to the love seat, and I slipped, and I wasn't wearing my brace. So when I landed, I broke my leg again.
Yeah, you just had to cut it off after breaking your leg a million times. Jesus.
Yeah.
How old were you when it was?
I was
amputated?
9.
Yeah. Imagine that.
Yeah, and well, the thing is, they called my mom in. Well, they called our mom in. I always forget that she's my sister, because we're such good friends that I just say my this and my that.
Yeah, like you were telling me a story, be like, my mom called me earlier, and I was like, yeah, your mom?
They called our mom into the office, and they said, you know, we think it's time to amputate. And she said, well, she's 9 now, and that's her body, so she wanted it to be my decision. And at 9 years old, someone who had never ran and played with their friends and never had a skateboard or a bicycle or anything, my first question, it wasn't anything about medical, it was, can I get rollerblades?
Yeah.
That was my deciding question on getting my leg amputated.
If they said no, would you be like, I'm out?
Probably.
Tapping out.
Like, no.
Like,
But I had that doctor since I was 18 months old, and he's, you know, told me, like, you can get a bike, you can get rollerblades, you can do gymnastics, you can do whatever you want. You'll have so much better life. So I made the decision to get my leg amputated, and it's probably the best decision I have made in my life.
do you ever wonder what that leg's doing?
We donated it to science.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't even know that.
Yeah, we
That's like,
donated
I was
it
just making a joke.
because
but
I
that's
had
cool.
it.
That's cool as fuck.
We live in Massachusetts, so I went to the University of Massachusetts Hospital. So we donated it to the hospital
Oh, wow.
so they could do research.
I genuinely did not know
So
that.
there
That's
could
so
still
cool.
be pieces of my DNA floating around. that medical school.
Just call them up being like, hey, can I make a clone of my sister? You might have her leg there somewhere, like,
but
DNA floating around.
It's the best decision that I've ever made. And actually, when I came in for my post-op appointment, I went into the room and there was rollerblades, a helmet, elbow pads, knee pads, and the hand guards sitting on the bed thing waiting for me
cute.
That the doctor and his nurses went out and bought.
That's so cute. Ow, my heart. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Again, how old was I?
3.
Yeah, so I wouldn't have known.
Yeah, I had my leg amputated on August 15th, and her birthday's August 17th. So I missed her 3rd birthday party, and she made sure that I knew she had a birthday party. She wanted me to have the dead center of her lamb chop cake, so I would know she had a lamb chop party.
Oh God, I was so dramatic. Oh, and even after you got...
Oh yeah, and when I first came out of surgery that day, they had brought her up to see me, and they left her in the hallway because she was finishing her lunch. And I can't eat till like hours after surgery because anesthesia makes me so sick. Well, she's in the hallway eating french fries and I'm screaming, I just want some french fries, and my mom told me no, and she told her do not give her any. So then my mom sends her in because she thought Sam had finished her food, and my mom went to go get something, and she pulls this linty french fry out of her pocket and hands it to me as my mom left the room. You know, I ate that french fry and I
I'm a
threw
ride
up
or die
everywhere.
bitch, alright? Like, you want something, I got you. Like,
But she just comes in and pulls this linty french fry out of her pocket and says, here, this is for you. And I ate it so fast, and I don't think I've thrown up so fast.
I don't know how old I was, but I have some of my earliest memories literally are me like singing into your...
I used to lay on the floor to do my physical therapy, and I'd have to lift my leg up and hold it there, and she'd help me cheat and hold my leg, but then she'd pretend it was a microphone and sing into my leg.
I was the most dramatic child.
Like,
But-
even our family has been so big on awareness that at 2 years old, my brother is saying neurofibromatosis and talking about prosthetic legs.
Yeah.
I mean, he's 18 now, but
Right.
neurofibromatosis was in his vocabulary at 2.
Yeah. I did like so many school projects on it. Like any opportunity that I had, I just like yelled about it.
Yeah.
Do you want to talk about like, I know that we're very proactive with spreading awareness, but has there ever been times where people just don't understand? Almost like a bullying.
When I came back to school at 9 years old, you know, I was going from elementary school to middle school because in the town we had lived in at the time, the 4th grade was at the middle school.
Oh, okay.
So I was going back to school with a bunch of middle schoolers who, you know, didn't know me. And I came back to school on crutches because I got my leg amputated in August and school started again in September. And I almost got pushed down the stairs like a few times, slammed into lockers, and actually when I was in high school, I had had a major surgery, probably one of the most major surgeries that I had ever had. And my first day back at school, I was standing in the hallway waiting for my friend who was going to carry my backpack, and everybody was staring at me, and I figured that it was just because nobody knew that I was an amputee. One of our mom's friends' nieces walked into the school, and I had known her through, you know, some classes, and obviously, you know, our mom's friend. And she came running over to me and she told me to follow her to the back where the gym was, but not to look down. And I mean, when someone tells you don't look down, what's the first thing you're gonna do?
You're like, what the?
I looked down and I was standing in a pool of blood like this big. It turns out that two of my stitches popped, and it was the ones holding my main artery together.
Oh.
I lost almost 2 liters of blood, and nobody told me that I was standing there bleeding.
Yeah, they're just like, because I feel like if it's not normal to a person, especially that young, it's like harder to accept because you don't know the logistics of it.
Yeah.
And then it becomes like a bullying situation a lot of the time. It's just like, oh, you're a freak, you're a weirdo, just like that show was doing. Like, you have one leg, like,
yeah.
It's like you become known as that.
Well, I mean, I'm 30 now, and I still have problems with some of the people that I went to school with that still comment, well, she's got one leg. Like, okay, and?
Cool, great.
Like, I feel like part of parenting should be teaching your children acceptance.
Yeah.
I don't care if you don't like people, you don't treat them like that.
Yeah, like you aren't your disorder.
Like there was one time where I was in health class and we were talking about acceptance of disabilities, and the kid in front of me was a football player, and he raised his hand talking about how great it was that the school had an amputee cheerleader, and it was awesome, and it was so great that someone went out there and did it. But the teacher kind of was like, well, obviously you don't pay too much attention because she's sitting behind you. It's kind of like, look past people's disabilities, accept them for who they are, but look past it.
You're still a person. You are more than neurofibromatosis. Like, you are a person. At the end of the day, like, you're still, like, just because you stand out in a crowd, maybe, like, because you have, like, especially in, like, summertime. Remember we went to Disney? I remember you had, like, kind of, not like a fit, but, like, having kids, like, point and stare. You're just like, I'm tired of feeling like a monster.
Yeah, I mean, I even have adults stare at me. I mean, right after I had moved, my friend and I were at the mall, and some guy, like, my age stopped in his tracks and was looking. And my friend was like, hello?
Because it's different to be, like, curious about why and, like, wanting to, like, understand and, like, be proactive about being, like, educating yourself on just, like, what is your story? Versus just, like, oh, can you look at this person? Like, do you see that shit? Like, because that's what I've seen a lot of times.
I make jokes. I make amputee jokes all the time. And, like, my friends make jokes and my family makes jokes. Like, I haven't had feet since I was 9. But if I'm talking about my left foot, I say feet. And if I'm talking about my right leg, I say foot. Which is the funniest thing. Yeah, my husband, or Larry pointed that out the other day. I was going to say my husband.
I mean, it doesn't matter. They don't know who it is.
Well, my husband pointed out the other day. He said, I always know what you're talking about because you say feet when you're talking about your real foot. And when you're talking about your prosthetic, you say foot.
Wow. I never realized that. And I've known you since... forever.
But I mean, I'm glad. I have a lot of friends with children, and it's just something that they've all grown up with, so they don't even really notice stuff like that. Like, one of my friends, her son, like, used to snap legs off her daughter's dolls to give them to me so I could have legs. Or like, we were at the mall one day, and you know how in the shoe departments they have, like, the pantyhose on those leg mannequins? He goes, look, Shannon, that's a really sexy leg for you.
Oh my god. I know the leg is a big thing, because, like, that's, like, the first thing that, like, someone's eye would be driven to, pointed to, because, like, it is not as common as, like, other things. But is there any other things that come along with neurofibromatosis that have affected you?
Yeah, I have over 300 tumors inside and outside my body. I mean, this is one right here, and I've got some bumps.
That's just can I point it out? That's just a scar that is from a butter knife.
A butter knife. I had my prosthetic.
You would think that's a tumor, like, along with everything else.
I had my prosthetic in my lap upside down, and I was trying to use a butter knife as a shoehorn, and I slipped and stabbed myself pretty badly.
Anyway, just because I don't want people to be like, oh, look at that tumor. Anyway, continue.
And my eyesight has gotten very bad over the past few years. I actually had my license taken away over a leg surgery I had, and then I got an approval to drive again and went to go get new glasses and was told that because of my eyesight, I can't drive.
Oh, okay.
And I have scoliosis, and I have just overall joint pain from having my leg and my back, and I get chronic migraines.
Right.
Like, really bad migraines. I get sick. I can't get out of bed. Sometimes I get, physically sick.
There's so many elements to it that it's like they all come together for this perfect storm, but, like, there's so many little things you wouldn't think of either. Like, for years we've been talking about getting matching tattoos, but it's like we have to calculate what spot to get yours done.
The skin on tumors is really thin, so we're not sure what would happen if you did tattoo over a tumor. Because they're kind of like spongy.
I used to, like, squish them when I was younger because I was a dick, and then, like, play connect the tumors, like.
I actually went through the surgery to see what would happen if I removed them, and I had 2 removed. I had one removed on the front of my leg and one removed on like the back of my leg, right under my butt. And it would pinch when I sat down or when I stood up because it was so big.
Yeah.
And my body first rejected the stitches.
Oh, wow.
So I had to go back in and get it stitched back up. And then by the time that it had healed, 4 had replaced it.
Oh, shit.
So I went and had one the size of like a golf ball removed. And now I have one probably, you know, the size of a golf ball collectively.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah, so it's just kind of like, it's such a delicate area that we have to like figure out where you don't have tumors and we can like get it done, because you do have 2, but like
I have 3.
Shit, 3. How many do I have?
56.
No.
I have 3, but they're both 2 are on my back and one's on my leg.
Yeah, so just like affects in so many different ways, like in different aspects of your life, like driving and
having kids. There's a 50% chance that if I have a child naturally that they could have neurofibromatosis. But then again, there's a chance that although it's genetic, that it could happen through spontaneous mutation. So I could have a child that has NF, but it could just be spontaneous mutation.
Yeah.
There is options to go with IVF, and we're looking into those, but it's very costly. Very costly.
Yeah, you have to like, because I know you truly, really do want to be a mother.
I'm struggling.
Yeah, they make the options. I mean, it's because the technology is so advanced. But
technology is so advanced, but they want you to pay, like, you know, there's a storage fee for the embryos, and they want you to do like send like 10 because they biopsy them all, and then there's a charge fee for them to do each embryo. That's like almost $400 with the storage fee, and then the charge per embryo, and then there's another charge for them even to accept your case. Altogether, it would be from $10,000 to $20,000 just to have the biopsies done. And that's not counting the price of the IVF or the medication itself. So altogether, that's probably like $50,000 to $60,000.
Yeah. So it's just like all the things that like are so much more normal for like, I don't want to say average human, but like a person without neurofibromatosis, the driving, like starting a family, like.
Well, and even if we do go through this whole biopsy and have this done,
there's a chance
that it could spontaneously happen because nobody in our family has it.
Right.
They thought our brother did when he was born because he had clubfoot.
Oh, I didn't even know that.
You didn't know that?
I knew he had clubfoot. I didn't know that.
His little foot was like a hook.
Oh.
And they immediately first were like NF, and Dr. Pappas was like, no, clubfoot.
Oh.
Yeah. We were so close with my doctor that my brother left the hospital after being born at one hospital and went to the other hospital to go get looked at. Never even came home before he went and he had a little cast on his foot.
Yeah. Just your entire journey. Like, you've been through so much. Like, how many surgeries?
I don't know an exact number, but it's an estimate between 50 and 80, which is a big jump, but there's little procedures that were done and things that might
Especially
not count as a surgery or cleanup surgeries that were just fixing, you know, my incision. And there was one that I had because I had bone grafts from my hips into my leg, where I just had my incision on my side cleaned up. And I can tell you that for a surgery where they touched no bone, that is the most painful surgery that I've ever been through.
Wow.
Is just having my hip opened up and closed.
That's crazy.
And the pain that came with that surgery was some of the worst pain that I can even remember. That's the only one I remember pain from.
Yeah. Didn't you have to like learn how to walk in a body cast? Like,
well, I wasn't supposed to be walking in the body cast.
Oh, okay.
You're not supposed to walk when you have a body cast, and I did.
Okay.
I did. Our mom put me on the floor in my bedroom to play with my toys, and she went to go do the dishes. and I came around the corner wobbling like this, and I said, can I have a snack?
I can do.
Like, it was no big deal. I was like, can I have a snack? And so she thought it was funny, and she told the doctor, and they were like, oh my goodness. So the next time they put a body cast on me, they put my legs apart a little more and put a bar between them.
Oh, shit. Okay.
And I still learned how to, and they wanted to see how I did it. So I did it, and I was like this.
Yeah.
Just kind of like throwing myself.
Throwing the microphone.
When I had my leg amputated, for some reason they still gave me a cast even though there was nothing to anchor it. So they gave me a strap that came up over my shoulder, and we were at our dad's house, and I stood up without the strap on, and my cast fell off. And our dad was like, I don't know, put it back on. So he's just like, nothing happened, just put it back on.
Oh my god.
And I don't know how many times that my cast just fell off before I finally was like, Mom, my cast fell off. And she was like, you probably should have told me that like a week ago when it started happening.
Yeah.
The only thing, it was okay that it fell off. It meant my swelling went down.
Yeah.
And I just needed to go get a new one.
Yeah.
But I was so nervous that I was going to get in trouble that it fell off that I didn't tell my mom. I just kept putting it back on.
What I love about like these kinds of stories is that like, I mean, I've definitely seen some moments where it does like get to you like emotionally, but you've always just kind of powered through. Like everything is super difficult, and like we've had the discussions about like being discouraged about the infertility and whatnot, but like you even said this at one point where you're like, I have neurofibromatosis, but neurofibromatosis doesn't have me.
I actually have a shirt that says that.
Really?
And I was going to wear it today, but I couldn't find it.
Oh wow. It's just like, that's what I was talking about in the intro, where like from a young age, like I was exposed to like so much more, like not difficulty, I don't want to make it seem like it's a sob story here, like you have been through a lot, but like you're strong enough to deal with it. It's not like we're asking for
the way
pity.
I grew up in the hospital, so I saw like, wow, I can't go play on the swings, but that kid can't even walk.
Yeah.
Or that kid isn't gonna go home.
Right. It's like you develop such an appreciation for the life that you're given, because like what you have, like it might not be the worst thing, but you still have to go through so much, and like the strength that you have from that to be like, well, at least I can walk, because there was a point where we thought you weren't gonna walk anymore.
Right.
Like, didn't they like even give you like a timestamp? Yeah, like we like refinished
all growing up, they told my parents that I was only gonna live till 19. And at 18, my health really started declining. I was having real bad trouble with my leg. My muscles had actually detached from my bone. And we thought, this is it. They were right. And we had a big fundraiser, and we redid our house over and had a ramp put on and a nice bathroom built.
Yeah.
And
on like the first floor.
Wasn't ready to give up. I am the reason that I started walking, because while nobody was home, I was putting my leg on and trying to walk.
Yeah.
And so my mom came home one day, and I'm standing in the middle of the kitchen because it hurt so bad. And I was standing in the middle of the kitchen holding my breath with tears just streaming down my face. And I said, see, I can walk. And although it hurt so bad, I was walking.
I'm like trying not to tear up, but that's what I'm talking about. We're like, all the things that like I've been through, I mean, I've seen you go through so much more, and like you power through it.
Yeah.
Like that's where I learned how to like be this.
I mean, I've just always tried to live by life might suck, but someone else's sucks more. Like I remember, I mean, it's kind of
that's just like a year
morbid to say, like things might suck right now, but somewhere else it sucks a lot more for someone else. I mean, I remember when I had a surgery, and the girl that was on the other side of the room was laying there, and she was just screaming, ow, 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 and like moaning and crying and the pain and everything. You know, her mom kept apologizing to me, and I was like, is she okay? What happened? She goes, oh, she broke her leg. Like, after the third day of sharing this room with this person, her mom got so mad at her, she pulled the curtain over and said, this girl just had her whole leg reconstructed and hasn't even said ow. Stop it. Like,
Stop it. It's just truly inspiring to me to watch you go through all these things, and you're still like, you still fight it, like how you were saying, like you are the reason that you started walking again. Like you found a way to make this life work for you, and like you took it by the balls basically. And like, if you can power on, I can power on, sort of thing. Like watching you go through all these surgeries and still have a smile on your face, and like want to be able to spread the word instead of like letting all the negativity of people like judging, like just by like the appearance of like one leg, like and whatnot, and like not understanding all that you've been through, and just being like, oh, you see that girl, like, oh, like,
yeah. I mean, it was kind of eye-opening being in high school and saying like, wow, people don't really see me as a person. They see me as the girl with one leg, when the person in front of me is talking about how great it is. The school has, you know, an amputee cheerleader, and I'm like, hello, I'm behind you.
Yeah, exactly. So if you have any other questions about neurofibromatosis, feel free to leave it in a comment below, either me or her, because she's always in my comments anyway. We'll answer them. And we will leave the link for our team in the description below if anyone wants to join us in the walk, or even make a donation if you can't make it, or if you're not in Massachusetts.
And there is more information on that website about neurofibromatosis, and there's other fundraisers. If you know someone lives somewhere else, they can see their nearest fundraiser,
or like their walk.
Yep, I think almost every state has at least one city doing a walk.
Because it's through the Children's Tumor Foundation.
It is.
We want to be able to spread the word, which is why we wanted to make this video in like a more broad spectrum, because like just posting a link on Facebook, like you don't get to like hear all the stories.
You know, you don't hear a story with that link. I mean, unless someone's writing out their story, but many people don't read the whole thing.
Right, which is why we wanted to share like all like the fun things, like how I'd sing into yourself, but also like the other things you had to go through, like, I mean, losing liters of blood.
My friends and I have we pulled pranks on people.
Oh yeah.
I actually in 5th grade got suspended. My first time ever getting in big trouble in school was because I flipped my leg around backwards to scare a substitute teacher.
Oh my god.
And I got suspended.
Again, the link will be in the description if you'd like to join us for the walk, or if you want to make a donation, or if you just want to educate yourself more on neurofibromatosis, because, I mean, the whole reason we have to spread awareness is because not a lot of people are aware of the severity of it and what it is. Like, I spent my entire high school career explaining it to everyone, because, again, I did it for every project I could.
Yeah.
But...
And our brother is the same way, and... You know, he was a lot younger, so when I was going through a majority of my major surgeries, he was like from 2 to 5 years old. So there was actually one surgery I had where he was crying the morning that I was leaving, and I was leaving for surgery at the same time he was leaving for school. He made our mom take my picture off the wall so he could bring it to school. And he sat at kindergarten with my picture, an 8x10, on his desk.
That's so cute. I didn't even know that. Alright. Well.
Bye.
That's not my outro. Well, I appreciate you for coming on to the show today and sharing all of your experiences. It is like such a personal thing to talk about, but it's something we have to talk about. And I appreciate you for tuning in, and thank you in advance if anyone joins us for the walk or donates. And please like, share, and subscribe if you're into this kind of thing. I hope you're okay with this episode being a little different, but we really, really were excited for this. And with that, stay positive, my friends, and have a wonderful ass day.
I forgot to tell them that Megan has been my friend since I had 2 legs. Because she would want me to tell them.
Well, there you go.
Have some faith with it. You can call the shots. And every Sunday you can have a coffee talk. Live with no limits. Love is all we got. And every Sunday you should have a coffee talk.